In this video, you will learn 5 powerful secrets that will make your man chase you. And I'm also going to tell you exactly what to do to keep him interested and pursuing you for years to come. Don't go anywhere because we're starting right now. Hi there, I'm Dr. Antonio Borrello and I'm a psychologist and a relationship coach. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, on to how to make him chase you. When you use these 5 tips, your man is going to pursue and chase you like never before. That you can count on. And the reason these tips are so powerful and work so well is because they're based on psychological science and triggering a man's natural instincts to pursue a woman. When you use these step-by-step tips, you're going to demonstrate the fact that you are an irresistible catch that he just can't get enough of. That's going to make him pursue, chase, and court you because he wants you to be his other half. So, without further ado, here are the 5 tips. Number 1, stop pursuing him. The first one is the most important. When you start feeling like your man is slipping away from you or not pursuing or chasing you like he did before, the most obvious reaction is to try to hold on to him or to bring him closer. Now, even though that's the instinctual thing to do, it's also the very worst thing that you can do. That's because you cannot pursue a man. He has to pursue you. Remember this. He's a man, and from both an evolutionary perspective as well as from a cultural perspective, men are prepared to pursue women in the courting process. They are not prepared to be pursued by women. Think about it. Boys are taught that they're supposed to show interest. They are taught to ask girls to dance, to ask for their number, and to ask them to go out on a date, and so on. This is something that's been ingrained in them in so many ways. They're brought up knowing that they are supposed to initiate and pursue. And besides being part of their socialization, from an evolutionary perspective, the chase is also a primal response. Men are hunters, the ones who pursue and compete with the other men for your attention and affection. It's ingrained into the deepest parts of the brain. It's an evolutionary response to millions of years of competing with others for survival. So if he has to pursue you for your attention, then he values you. If you try to pursue him, he's unconsciously going to think that other men don't want you and don't pursue you, so why should he? Then your value goes down. So this is super important. He's a man and he has to pursue you. So beginning right now, you have to stop chasing after him. You have to stop pursuing him. But let me get very specific with you on this one. I want you to practice the 80-20 rule or even the 85-15 rule. That means that you must let him initiate contact or communication 80% of the time. That means that you have to stop texting him first. You have to stop checking on him. You cannot ask to see him or try to initiate plans. Instead, you must let him do it. Let him do it 80% of the time. Not always, but 80% of the time, he should be reaching out to you first. Look, I know this is difficult to do because you want him and you miss him and you want to talk to him. It's hard to not reach out because you want to be connected and communicating. It's difficult to do, but you must do it. So make sure that you're letting him initiate. Oh, and also make him wait before you return his calls and texts. I understand the urge to respond back immediately, especially if you've been waiting to hear from him for a while. But taking some time before responding to him sends the message that you are busy and not just sitting by your phone waiting for him to reach out. Have patience and take your time before responding. Doing so will certainly increase his yearning for you. Number 2, believe that you are the prize. Okay, so we are getting philosophical here. But what do I mean by believe that you are the prize? Well, do you believe in the core of your being that you are a woman who deserves to be loved unconditionally by a wonderful man? And more importantly, if you believe that, do your dating behaviors or your relationship behaviors communicate that? Are you accepting less than you deserve? Are you keeping your standards and expectations high? Because when you believe that you are a woman deserving of love, you will act the part and attract that kind of man. Essentially, believing that you are the prize is practicing self-love. But as you can imagine, practicing self-love in the context of a new intimate relationship is often easier said than done. Because when we have strong romantic desires for another person, we often do things that we think will win their affection, we overlook red flags, and we forgive bad behavior. That chemically induced love fog overrides our ability to evaluate things clearly and objectively, and we get swept up and are sometimes engaging in behaviors that are anything but self-loving. And this is when the majority of dating mistakes happen. The mistakes that cause men to lose interest or bail on you or use you for sex. Remember, a man will treat you the way you allow him to. So when your boundaries are being tested by a man, how do you handle it? Do you give him multiple chances or make excuses for his poor behavior because you're afraid of losing him? When you believe that you are the prize, you will put your self-respect above your feelings and remain true to your standards and enforce your personal boundaries. Believing that you are the prize also means that you're not constantly trying to measure how much he likes you or wants you, and instead, you're more focused on how he measures up. You're more focused on how compatible he is and how he will be an addition to your life. So, bottom line, when you practice self-love, when you believe you are deserving, when you behave in a way that demonstrates this feeling, it influences all of your interactions and you radiate with positive energy, and it wildly increases your level of attractiveness. And when that happens, you are irresistible to him. Number 3, never be too accessible before a serious relationship develops. Before he is fully committed and serious about making a future with you, don't always be available for him by always saying yes when he calls and asks you to go out, especially if he's calling with short notice. Saying no to his request for plans sends him the message that you have other engagements or other commitments that are taking priority, at least at this time when he's asking. It also forces him to recognize that you are an independent, high-value woman and that you're not just sitting by the phone waiting for his calls. Remember, one of the most important things that men find attractive in women is independence. He's got to know how full and complete your life is. And if he becomes part of it, it's because you want him to be a part of it, not because you need him to be part of it. But wait, does that sound like you're playing games? Well, it is if you're simply acting like you are busy, but you're really sitting at home watching Netflix. Yeah, that's not what I'm referring to. Instead, I'm suggesting that you make sure that you are keeping up with the life you had prior to meeting him. Be yourself and make yourself a priority. Make and keep plans with your girlfriends and keep your schedule busy. This goes a long way towards helping him to see you as a high-value woman with an exciting life. And when you do that, he's going to want to be part of that. So remember, don't be so eager to give a man access to your time and attention, and don't give up time with your family and friends and hobbies when a new guy asks you on a date last minute. Trust me, he will appreciate and respect you more as a result. Number 4, never act exclusive with a man who is still keeping his options open. If a man tells you he's not looking for a relationship or anything serious, you need to believe him the first time before you invest more of yourself in your feelings. And this goes back to number 2. If you believe that you are the prize, you will know that you can do better. You will never entertain the idea of getting involved with a man who doesn't want a relationship, regardless of how attractive or successful or popular or desirable he might be. While it might be tempting to adjust your wants and needs to accommodate his, this is absolutely something that you cannot do if you're seeking a long-term relationship. For example, you start dating a guy who has made it clear to you that he isn't seeking anything serious, but you are. You really like him and that you feel that if you play it casual and go along with his wants, you'll eventually be able to convince him to align his wants with yours. In the short term, you may feel that this is working, but in the long run, you are only setting yourself up for disappointment. Think about it. Isn't it easier to go into a potential relationship with someone who's seeking the same thing rather than going into something that he thinks is casual and you working on changing his mind? We all have limited time and resources. Why are you going to waste yours trying to change him when instead you could be with someone who is seeking the same thing and worthy of your time? You have to believe guys when they say that they're not looking for a relationship. Trust me, you will save yourself so much time, effort, heartache, and disappointment if you do. Number 5, be willing to walk away. You must be willing to walk away from someone and something if it isn't working. Stop entertaining his half-hearted attempts to show you that he really cares. In other words, if he's giving you mixed messages, that's half-hearted. So if a man is not showing you the love and affection that you expect, don't complain about it, don't nag or fight with him. That's not going to change anything. Instead, take away your attention and be willing to walk away. If he has any kind of real desire for you, he will pull out all the stops to get you back. But again, he must know that he has to change or he's going to lose you. That's not something you need to tell him. It's something that you need to demonstrate to him in your behavior. He needs to feel that you aren't willing to settle, that you aren't going to tolerate behaviors or actions of his that you don't agree with. So he has to be afraid that he will lose you if he doesn't step up his game. And he will only experience this if he knows that you're willing and able to walk away from something that isn't right for you. By the way, I'd love to know some of the things that you do to pace your relationship and remain a challenge to your man. Leave a comment and let's start a discussion. Oh, and if you found this video helpful or informative, please consider subscribing so that you're making sure that you're getting all of our new videos. You can click here to subscribe now, or click here to watch a video that YouTube thinks that you'll like. I'll see you in the next video.